All right, what is going on? How y'all doing out there? Start of the holiday week with the Falcons here on in Atlanta Bird Gang and also on Uncle Steve's Lounge on YouTube. We appreciate everyone out there. Thank you for joining us today and feeling good to finally have a Victory Monday. It's been a while since we've done that. I appreciate everyone joining us today to talk about not only a win, but unfortunately, as the business of football goes on, injuries, man. And injuries happen, and we can't ignore them. They're happening to every team. So Kyle Pitt, depending on what source you hear everything from short term to he's going to have surgery. Bottom line is you may as well start planning the rest of 2023 without Kyle Pitts. What does that mean for the Atlanta Falcons? I don't know at this moment. I'm sure Uncle Terry is sitting out there stirring the pot to see possibly if we could fill in any tight ends out there and see if they can come in and help. But in the meantime, let's talk about both of them. Let's talk about the win, because it is a win. And we'll talk about Kyle Pitts just to see exactly what the game plan is going to be. Coming in, Senko, what's going on, brother? How you doing on this Monday, my friend? Lisa is in the house. Rise up, Steve. We have ourselves a Victory Monday. And again, it's been a while since we had a victory. It's so funny. I was listening to somebody say, man, this has been like a long time. It seems like it. We had a 2-game losing streak, but football is one of those things. It seems like every week lasts a month. And when you have those days like that, it seems like it's just such a long time between wins. So 5-6 any other year would sound like you would already be packing your bags for the winter and trying to get the family vacations for the team. But in the NFC South in 2022, that means you're a half game out and a long way to go. So let's enjoy that. That's my brother Jonathan in the house. What's going on, brother? Good to see you out there. Dre in Uncle Steve's Lounge on YouTube. Y'all don't forget me on the YouTube channel. Got a lot of action going out there, and I appreciate everyone on Uncle Steve's Lounge. Please make sure you spread the word, especially the closer we get towards, these games are starting to get big, man. And nothing is bigger than the next game. And the next game is against the Commanders. We'll obviously have a lot of time to talk about that. But again, just wanted to recap a little bit about yesterday, and I'm sure everyone wants to talk about Kyle Pitts. John Huggins is in the house. John says, Uncle Steve, what's happening with you? Great win on Sunday. KP might be out for the rest of the season. Yeah, we're talking about that right now. Kyle Pitts looks like he might be out. And, I don't want to seem like I don't care about this. This is a big move. This is a huge, huge hit to the Atlanta Falcons, because Kyle Pitts is, despite not getting the stats and all of that, this is a huge hit to the Falcons. But we've got to move on. I mean, you got to press on. We had to press on without him yesterday, and I saw Pruitt got a little catch in the meantime. But who knows? Maybe this ends up being where we start finding out about other receivers. If y'all noticed yesterday, we spread the ball around quite a bit, and we didn't get the 300-yard game that we know we'll never get out of Marcus Mariota, and that's fine. We didn't get that. I was trying to pull up the box score, but I saw at least 6 different receivers. Let me look real quick just to verify. But the Falcons had Kyle Pitts with 3 catches, Bird with 2 catches, Pruitt with 1 catch, Hodge with 1 catch, OZ with 1 catch, Algier with 1 catch, Cordero with 2 catches, Drake with a big catch for the touchdown, and Huntley for a catch. So reminiscent to the days of yesteryear when we spread the ball around. I mean, we didn't stick to one person. Maybe that was the game plan, to get some other guys some touches so we can see how this stuff goes around, man. John Harris, what's up, Jay? In the house, and my question is, was this targeting? It wasn't targeting. Yeah, and here's the thing. I listen on the way home. As soon as I got in the car, I always go to some of the little internet apps, and I love listening to the visitors' radio response and how they responded to, what just happened with their team. And the Chicago media was going crazy about how we hit Justin Fields. They were saying we were targeted on him and we were trying to injure him. So it was amazing to me that they thought we were targeting. So I don't think it was targeting. It's with the defensive players. And I was talking to somebody earlier about this in Facebook group. They have so much outlawed everything above the head and up here. And I've even noticed sometimes, even with the hits in the shoulder, they seem to kind of overreact to those hits. You've seen unnecessary roughness calls for them hitting up here. So what is the defensive player to do? They've been given one target, which is kind of right between here and your waist. And sometimes when you try to tackle these folks, you got to tackle them by the leg. So I disagree with the targeting aspect. I think that's just how it's going to be right now. You got to bring them down somewhere. People complain all day about the Falcons not being able to tackle. Guess what? Homeboy was trying to tackle Kyle Pitt, probably one of the toughest guys to tackle, and he had to do it somehow. So I don't know. To me, I don't know. All right. RJ ATL for life. What's going on, RJ? Conflicting reports on sprain or torn MCL. Get well, Kyle Pitts. And that's the main thing. Get well. It kind of just sounds like he's going to be out. I'm not right now. The medical diagnosis, no matter how it turns out, it absolutely sounds like he's not going to be here for the rest of 2022. And that's where I'm going to focus, where that he's not going to be here. So we'll go there. This says it shouldn't affect us, and I can't see who this is. And my apologies, because like I said, Facebook it's acting kind of weird. So that's how we'll do it. Q comes back and says you'll see CP at wide receiver more going forward. I can believe that. I can believe that right there, because now that you have an established running game between Huntley and Algier, you might see Patterson fill that spot. That's actually a really good call on that. Clayton says, what's up, Steve? I hate that he's injured. Hopefully a fast recovery, but I think it will help the team. Offense seems to be clicking. When he got injured, Marcus actually was looking for a target. I agree. I think that will broaden his vision now. Now you have a lot more guys to look forward to throwing the ball to. That's what I say. That's a good call right there. John Higgins, next man up. That's what I feel like. Rusty, how you doing, sir? So I know this might seem like a knee-jerk reaction, but the NFL needs to do something about hitting players in the knee area and below. Those soft tissue injuries are just as bad as concussions as far as players' careers can go. Again, I agree that you shouldn't aim for the knee, but the defenders have – where else are they supposed to go, fellas and young ladies? Where are they supposed to go? It's hard. I hear all the criticism in the world about our team not being able to, make tackles, but they've become so sensitive. And you guys have seen it before, where they'll call the unnecessary roughness for even in the safe area if you're hitting too hard. And I understand the concussion ramifications. I understand all of that, but we can't have it both ways. We're going to complain about somebody trying to hit Kyle. Yeah, I understand. I don't think there's a soul in football I can't say a soul in football. Obviously, there are going to be a couple of cast off. I don't think there are guys that's literally trying to hurt somebody to end the season. There's no one trying to do that. But There are guys that go 100%, and sometimes you go 100%, and that's the only way you can tackle them. That's it. I saw a play yesterday in the Kansas City game where the Chargers guy grabbed Patrick Mahomes by the arm, and he was literally pulling him out. And it wasn't his throwing arm, but nevertheless, I mean, he was really trying to tug that. And I was saying to myself, I said, man, that's a pretty tough tackle. But guess what? If you don't bring him down by any means necessary, Mahomes going to get loose and do what he ended up doing anyway, is winning the game at the end. So, I don't know. And I know it's easy to say don't target the knees. But in some of these cases, folks, that's the only way you're going to get them down. And this is not defending the tackle the dude made. It was kind of a bad tackle. It was in a bad area, but I'm not going to sit here and condemn the guy for trying to stop one of the better tight ends in the league. You know? Sean Dixon, next man up. What else are we going to say, y'all? Next man up. That's what it is. Rusty says he was borderline defenseless. Yeah. I hear you. But that doesn't mean you just let the man go. If that's the case, then I need to stop hearing every single criticism of Atlanta Falcons tackling. The defensive tackle. I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't want to hear anything about the Atlanta Falcons tackling if that's going to be the story that you lean on. You gotta hit the guy. You gotta hit him, and sometimes you gotta make it hurt. I don't want Kyle Pitts hurt. I don't want any of our teammates hurt. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do if you're on the defense to get the guy down. Horrible injury to the dude from Tennessee, even though that game was already in hand for South Carolina. Horrible way for him to go down. But what are you supposed to tell the defensive guy? Just let him run around and do what he's going to do? That's not the spirit of football. You got to try to tackle the guy. I don't think there was any intent on that dude trying to hurt Kyle Pitts yesterday. And maybe might have been one of the first people to try. Scooter, what's going on, Scooter? Say, what's up with the rookie tight end? I don't know. Did he make the team? I don't even know if he made the team, Scooter. Honesty would tell me. I honestly do not know. I wish I did. Simcross said shoulder to the thigh pads, not Eddie Jackson. I said that was Eddie Jackson that did that. Yeah, I mean, especially if he's tall like that. You're absolutely right. And it's hard. Football is going to be instinctual to these guys. I'm pretty sure you can have all the tape in the world that the NFL sends about a target for where to hit these guys and what's safe and what injury and all of that. But when those bullets start flying for real and you're in a game, Chicago is in a game where, dude, they are just as desperate as we are. They trying to tackle the guy. First time when they're running up there, they're not saying, oh, dang, that NFL tape said section 1-34 not to hit him. And man, they trying to get them guys on the ground. I don't know. John says, Steve, this is football, and if you're going to rely on running your star quarterback, he's going to get his behind hit. And that's the bottom line. Woo! Justin, there were a lot of people that were upset that Justin, again, and I'm trying to think what the station is. I think it's 670 to score in Chicago. I think that's their moniker. But they were trying to justify, the hits on trying to say, oh man, that was a bad hit for Justin Fields. The rules should be different. They would protect Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, which is kind of true. But at the same time, it's football, y'all. When I see the way Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert bounce off these tackles and everything like that, you got to do whatever it is necessary. You got to. I don't think anybody is trying to hit these guys and trying to hurt these guys. You got to do what you got to do. me get down here. I'm sorry, y'all. William Amy, what's going on, brother? Said, damn, man, we got to win for KP. Absolutely. Next man up, man. Next man up. It sounds heartless, but the season doesn't end because Kyle Pitts got injured. You're 5-6. You kind of have destiny in your own hands. You know, you can kind of control your own destiny. I'm sorry for Kyle Pitts, but at the end of the day, you got to keep playing. It was awful, but it is what it is. Dr. say, I was on another live show and just listening to the person knowledge and confusion was confusing, not name dropping. Yeah. It's yeah. Senqua says IR. Yeah, that doesn't shock me if that's the UGA guys on IR. Got it. William said that was a dirty play to me. That's a chop block. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and defend the play. I'm not trying to say the guy was wrong. The guy was right. I'm just saying sometimes that happens, folks. Sometimes that's going to happen in the midst of things where the guy's going to get hurt. They're going to get hurt. And I don't think anybody's trying to hurt the guy. It is what it is. Travis, what's going on, man? Travis is on Uncle Steve's Lounge. I appreciate you, brother. Said it's catch-22 nowadays. Defenders are being hog-tied with how they can tackle. It's a split-second decision that they have to make at a fast-paced game. Pin that comment up. That's it. I don't, again, 95% of the league, I don't think their intention is to hurt anybody. Do you think those guys really wanted to put Tua out in that game? Do you honestly think that was their intention, to hurt Tua? Tua. I'm sorry till I get that right. No, but it's football. It's football. John Harris says, truth be told, players were trying to end careers and careers by knocking the stove top. Yeah, I hear you, but that's not the nature of it now, though, John. It's not. All the old school vernacular about, knocking folks out and all that stuff, that's not what the NFL is selling. Back in the days when we used to get every year, you got the video from the NFL about the hardest hits and stuff like that. That's just not where they're going. They're not going there anymore because of concussions, because of suing, because of just the ability to, hurt people. You're not going there. Robert says, honestly, it's football. You got big guys running hard, and there was a bang, bang, bang. To me, injuries happen. And I'm not trying to be nonchalant about somebody being hurt, but he's right. Those things are going to happen. It's not meant to, but those things happen. William says that was too low to hit somebody like that. Again, I don't know if that was his starting point to hit. I don't know if that was his starting point to hit, but again, maybe he was trying to trip him up. Because when you got somebody that moved at 6'6" that's moving like that, you telling me to hit him high. I don't know. It's hard. Clayton says, speaking of defense needs to tackle better. Again, so there's the catch-22, Clayton. Some of the tackles that they're trying to make, they might hurt these guys. We're acting like, well, you're right about us needing to tackle better. But, man, it's a catch-22 about where these guys are supposed to hit. But you're right. They do need to tackle better. Let Justin Fields get out of too many things. I was surprised. We did control Montgomery quite a bit. And I did like that. Because I think if they would have had that other guy, Herbert is a different beast, and he was out. But we did a good job on him. I think Montgomery, what did he end up with? 54 yards. No. That's take that back. 67 yards. But he wasn't running as good as Fields, obviously. Michael says legs, tackle, wrap up both legs, get them on the ground. Easy to say. Get out there when those guys are moving as fast as they can. It sounds simple. If they're one step faster than you, what are you going to grab? You're not going to grab anything? Are you going to let them pass and say, oh, man, the rules say I got to grab here? It's instinct. Instinct says get him on the ground by any means necessary. Clay says Fitzpatrick on the practice squad, but I think he got cut. I thought he got cut too, but maybe I don't know, between IR, I don't know. Anthony Moss says that wasn't targeting. Ask Kyle himself about the Florida-Georgia game. I didn't see that, but I believe you. Sean, what's up, brother? Sean says Grady did hit Justin Fields while he was down, but I'm sure in the moment he didn't appear to be down. Again, that was another one. They could have easily called that because that was legit. He did hit him. He brushed by him on his head. He could have easily got that one, got that call against him. So I understand. Rusty said, reminded me of the hit KZ put on Allen Hurns in that preseason game against Jacksonville a few years ago. People were calling for KZ's head. And we all know Michael Anderson trying to get to the playoffs, and that's the bottom line. Right now, guys are doing what they can. Even Chicago knows this is one of their last chances. Their last chances, y'all. Facebook users, I'm sorry, it's not bringing up your name, but appreciate it. It's about the logo. Go Falcons. I agree. As much as this is a lot, and don't underestimate, this is a big loss. But we got to move on. William says, I want to see how this team responds to through adversity. That's a good. And I know I've seen a couple of comments where people say, well, Kyle Pitts wasn't involved anyway, so it might not make that much of a difference. We'll see. Q says, yeah, I think his knee was down, but was the whistle blown? The way Fields plays, he'll get the Cam Newton treatment. Good point. Because once you, the only thing in that thing, Q, that I would disagree, when you give yourself up, and he gave when the slide is giving yourself up. I have 9 out of 10 times they throw the flag on that. But to your point, I think there's just the honesty with the referees where they're saying, okay, well, you're going to be big boy coming through the middle, whether you're sliding down or not. You're sliding down as a big boy, so we thinking, hey, that little brush shouldn't hurt you. Because we just saw you a second ago run 20 yards down the field and throw a stiff arm. So, I hear what you're saying. That's an absolute perfect statement. You talk about the Cam Newton. Cam Newton got crushed. As much as I can't stand Cam as a player, Cam Newton used to get crushed, and they would never call that play. Because Cam used to try to run folks over. And I think you expect the referee's mind to change from, okay, he's a bulldozer to, oh, let me slide, let him go, don't touch him. That's human nature, man. You can't expect that. John Harris said, I got to give Mariota credit for his grit and determination after that touchdown he ran for yesterday. No wonder the O-line loves him. It's easier for me to overlook, not excuse mistakes. Mariota absolutely garnered a little bit better respect for me yesterday, John. And I absolutely agree with you to the point of he played tough. I don't know about y'all. Did y'all feel like he was running a bit slower than he had early in the year? It was a couple of those times where he took off, and I don't know whether that was Chicago folks were that much faster, but it seemed like more times this year, it seemed like when he took off, he would get a lot more yards. But nevertheless, he did play a much tougher game yesterday, and it does make it easier to overlook the mistakes. Perfect statement, John. Not excuse mistakes, but overlook it when you play with that much heart. And he did play with heart. Excuse me. Clayton says, Hesse, Frisker, Franks, Pruitt, Who you got? Pruitt got a shot. Yeah, Pruitt. Remember, Pruitt caught the touchdown earlier this year too. I like Pruitt's game. Maybe at some point there has to be justification for keeping Felipe Franks on this roster, and I think he showed maybe one play or two plays in preseason, but I got to see more from this cat to see why is he in a good place with Arthur Smith. Whatever he's doing in practice, it must be something great. When he gets over this calf thing, we need to put him out there and see what he got. In my opinion. Dre says, I'll be honest, Justin was doomed when he got hit. Justin does not have a mindset after injury of feeling pain point blank. He played with that pain at Ohio State. He threw 6 touchdowns with semi-broken ribs or whatever it was. And I'm not trying to say that makes it any better. But, you know. Facebook user says, hey, what's up, Unc Goodwin? Yesterday, I hate we lost Pitts because he's a big weapon, but we have to move forward. These hits aren't going to get any better, but he had time to hit him in the waist area. I was taught to hit a player right in the stomach area, and I speed up, and the speed of the game doesn't let you tackle how you want, but I think he could have hit him in the stomach area. And all that is true. I don't know. The only thing we can look at is ask him what was his mindset. And I'm pretty sure his mindset is like, yeah, I know, but I tried to hit the guy earlier and he wouldn't go down in the stomach. So I was trying to grab whatever I can. How many times do we see defensive players or somebody's running and they grab a hand and reach out for his ankle? Is that illegal? Like, I mean, I understand I'm kind of being facetious, but you grab the ankle and the guy twists and you know, might twist his ankle, a high ankle sprain. You never know. I don't think anybody's intention is to put the guy out for a long period of time. So yeah, that's easy to teach. When the bullets are flying, it's just hard to defend, y'all. John says, hell, they're playing these guys a lot of those. So to say they are trying to hurt a player is crazy. Good point. Good point. Winston in the house. What's going on, man? Said Grady hit Justin Fields twice while he was down. Once on a 3-yard run, he gave himself up, and then on AK sack. Yeah, I mean, it is. It's the game, man. Facebook user said, we'll be fine. I hope so. Daniel in the house said, I hope we give Pruitt more opportunities. So far, so good for Pruitt. When I see him with the ball, like he's running down the field. And again, maybe this will finally open up some things with the wide receivers. I mean, for Drake to get one catch yesterday, I like that they were spreading it around, but golly, man, that talent, I need to see that guy getting the ball a lot more. How many targets did he have yesterday? Drake had 3 targets yesterday. And I know we're going with the run game and all of that, but that guy has to have more targets. It's too much talent. He's got to. Even if the game plan is for us to have a different type where we're running the ball, if that's what's the game plan going to be, run. I got to see Drake get some more targets. Got to. Dre says, people saying next man up. Hell, Drake seeing his time shine, hand down. He's the next man up. That's my point. John says, now that's sliding. Some of these quarterbacks either slide into the defensive player or slide with their cleats up. Now, in baseball, if you slide with your cleats, well, it's not baseball. And I don't think that particular play, the one in question, I think that was a clean slide. That one. I hear what you're saying about the cleats up, but man, it's not baseball. Baseball is different. Baseball isn't meant to be touched. If the cleats hit a football player has some protection and everything to avoid that. Not saying that that's going to make it hurt any less, but no. Q says, Unc, I posted in the group through 11 games. This is the most rushing attempts in Super Mariota's career. Maybe that's why he's wearing down a little bit. That's a good point. Facebook used to say Pruitt is going to be a guy we watch out for. I hope so. That was one of the things, y'all. I don't know if y'all agreed with it or not. I wish, I know we didn't probably have the money allotment. I really wanted to keep Hayden Hurst here. And when I see him doing good things with Cincinnati, it kind of bothers me because I think he was somebody that not only solidified things when Austin Hooper was out of here, but of course, last year we wanted to see what Kyle Pitts was about. So he was obviously going to get more play. But I would have loved to keep Hayden Hurst around. Not to be the number one guy, but because I know he can catch the ball. Robert Lindsay, how you doing? Robert says, just want Mariota to be consistent. That's fair. I mean, to your point, last year, last two games, he wasn't consistent. He was making horrible plays. And I would almost dare say there were a couple of times today, I think he was almost scared to go downfield because he said, this is going to be another mistake by me. But I liked on the first drive that he came right out throwing the ball, kind of get that monkey off his back for all those bad decisions in the Carolina game. So I like that. Scooter says Mario running east and west instead of north and south. That's a good point, too. Gator, what's going on? Gator on Uncle Steve's Lounge. Yeah, that is sad, man. I know you feeling it down there from Gatorland. Yeah, that's a bad injury. Don't ever wish injury on guys like that. So I know that's a big one, brother. Daniel says Mariota definitely looked slower than he did. Cost the team early in the year, fumbling, trying to do too much running the ball. And Franks is on IR. I'm pretty sure Franks is on IR. I'm pretty sure. I don't think Franks is on IR. I think Frank is, because Franks was inactive. If you're inactive, you wouldn't be on the inactive list if you're on the IR. I think they just still resting that calf on his calf. I don't think he's on IR, Daniel. Anthony says we'll ever see Bernhardt. Now, Bernhardt, I think, was on IR, and I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure they put him on IR earlier. Q says Franks will be gone next year. Won't be surprised if we draft another tight end either. And I'm not trying to make Franks the end-all, be-all, but I am trying to say he's taking up a roster spot. And if you're taking up a roster spot, I'm going to need something from you. I think just about everybody, even the guys who are on the practice squad, is getting some run now on this team because of injuries or otherwise. And Franks right now has not given any returns on keeping him to justify keeping him on this team, in my opinion. And I was one of the people rooting for him to do better, but I can't when I don't see any production. William says Drake will get more touches. Let's hope so. Facebook user says less pressure to get the ball to Pitts because maybe you meant less pressure to get the ball to Pitts because of the media pressure of your number one pick. Now he can relax more and scan the field. What's up, Darius? How you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. And oh man, I apologize. I didn't know what ended up happening with Parkview. I did not see, and I hadn't got a chance to check it out. But please let me know what happened there. Daniel says, I'm waiting on the Graham news. Yeah, that was on a cart. So I would imagine that's probably not good news either. Maybe this is why the Falcons say some of that salary cap. Everybody keep wondering why we haven't spent anything. But now these are some times, especially this time of the year. And also, we haven't had our bye yet. These guys have had to go out week after week after week. And we just haven't had that bye for these guys to rest up a little bit. Got about three more weeks? No, two more. Pittsburgh and I'm not Pittsburgh, Washington and Pittsburgh. So that bye can't come too soon, man. Daniel says got to give OZ and Bird more opportunities as well. Well, guess what? They're about to get them. Scooter says Frank's on the team because he's an emergency QB playing tight end and made some tackles on special team. Oh, I'm not trying to not justify that part. Now, maybe a couple of special teams tackles, okay, but that tight end thing, that's a big deal. I kind of thought he was going to be a little higher on the depth chart. But, yeah, I hear you. Maybe. Yeah. Daniel says to beat the Commanders yourself, you're going to have to pass the ball, though they're tough as nails to run on. And then they might be getting Chase Young back. I know they thought Chase Young would be back this past week, but maybe they thought they didn't need him against Houston. John says, let's talk about CP's return. What was it like down there amongst all those Bear fans when he took a straight up Peachtree? It actually solid, because if you remember, obviously CP fumbled and the Bears took advantage and went in, and for about 75 seconds, you thought you were at Soldier Field with old school Bear fans. Those Bears fans came running. And I think I talked earlier this year, the New Orleans game, I'm telling you, I thought that was going to be the game that most other fans came to. It has not been. So far, San Francisco, Chicago was number one now after yesterday. Chicago fans came in droves. Not to say the Falcon fans weren't there, because if you truly listen, when plays happened, when CP ran that thing back, from the time CP ran that thing back, the momentum was on our side. And if you remember, Falcons scored 17 straight after that. And I said, in addition to that, that was 17 straight we scored on the Bears. So, yeah, the momentum, boy, those Bear fans were out there. Let's go Bears was not hard to hear. They came and took over our stadium, but I'm glad they went back unhappy. Q said Draco may have received more targets had we not fumbled twice. Yeah, and CP taking one to the house. Those fumbles, and how can I say this without sounding condescending? I don't mind the extra effort play. It's almost a little bit like Drake when Khalil Mack stole the ball from him. He's trying to make a play. He's trying to be tough. He's trying to get more yardage and just didn't hold on to the ball. Avery Williams, he leads, and I didn't even know this before yesterday. I saw it, leads the NFL in punt return average. Trying to make a play. His team needed field position. He's trying to flip it. Maybe one step too much. And then CP, nice run. I think he saw where he might have a little giddy up to get to that next level and just didn't tuck that ball in. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. I think maybe those fumbles kind of stopped the momentum there and didn't allow for a couple of more targets. Wesley says Pruitt is underrated. He looks more capable to pick up the slack. Not to say he has the talents of Pitts, but he's not a bad option. And at this point, Winston, I'm not looking for all-stars. I need people just a solid person to fit in. I just need some solid guys who can block first, but still catch a pass. Daniel says to beat the Commanders, you're going to have to pass the ball, though they're tough as nails. I think I just saw this, didn't you? Lisa says Hurst was underutilized here. Very, very. He got more opportunities the year before Kyle Pitts got here. Because when you think about it, when Hooper left, we really didn't miss a beat at tight end. If anything, I think Hurst gave you more reliable hands. Clayton says, what did y'all see with Walker? I saw a lot of slow recognition on plays, which equal to a lack of tackle or weak. I saw a lot. I saw a couple of missed tackles with Walker. I know this is 3 years in. I'm still not giving up on Walker because I think he's still around the ball. he's just gotta his speed. He's just gotta catch up to the speed of the game. I don't want this to be one of those Devondre Campbell situations where we get to where his last year is and we let him go and then all of a sudden he starts balling. I think Walker is a very solid player. I would hold off a little bit, Clayton. I would hold off just one more season just to see. I think Walker is a good player, and I still think his ceiling is high. I think you can still get a little bit more. I'm not saying all pro, but I think you can get a little bit more. Rusty says passing game ain't gonna get no better. Now we better really temper our expectations as they were not tempered enough before. DC's game plan around KP always draw the attention of two defenders. Going to start seeing a lot of 8-man boxes now. That was the one person we really didn't need to go out. Yes and no. Obviously, he's somebody that defenses are going to take care of. But then this is also one of those times where the defense could get caught slipping. As we were talking about Pruitt, I'm not here to put Pruitt in an all-star category or that, but don't pay him any attention. Don't not double him, but let him slide and not give him the attention he needs, and then he'll burn you. You got to be that could work both ways. I now understand completely what you're saying, but I'm not tempering anything. This team is still, with Kyle Pitts or without Kyle Pitts, less than average talent team, which probably reflects the 5-6 record. And I'm here to defend, and I know I hear a lot of Arthur Smith criticism, which in some cases is fair. Some of the play calling, but man, y'all, do you all realize how much less talented this team is than those teams where we had Hall of Famer Matt Ryan, Hall of Famer Julio Jones, burgeoning star Calvin Ridley, former Pro Bowler Deion Jones? Do y'all realize how much scrap these guys have? There is no expectation for this team to do much better than what they've done already. And do you want more as a fan? Absolutely you want more. You want them to beat the Commanders. You want them to beat Pittsburgh and go into this by 7-6. Of course, that's the perfect plan. But temper expectations. My expectations are already over. They already have overachieved. With this roster, I mean, I don't know what else you want. And I'm not saying I don't see the deficiencies. Mariota is not playing at an optimal level. Even when Kyle Pitts was there was some things about him that weren't exactly great. It's not like this cat was perfect. The O-line has had kind of brain spaced out where we start morphing back into the 2021 offensive line. But to be 5-6, I don't know. It's 5-6 at this point. I'll take it. And still in the mix. So now y'all can temper y'all expectations. I'm good. I'm rooting for my team to win. Daniel says, I hate when we have to play at FedEx Field. That's an injury-prone field. Got to play. Lee, what's going on, man? Said week to week, we never know what to expect from him. Got to be more consistent. Got to be. That got to be. That. I mean, you took the Ram. You have number 1 on your jersey. Need you to step up. Sean says Hurst could always get you that first down when you needed it. Man, Hurst was nice. And Hurst was nice. I'm going to leave it there. Not trying to tell you he was Kyle Pitts, but he was nice. Facebook user, you were going in on those Bears fans yesterday, hoping Pitts and Graham have quick recoveries. Yeah, and what I should have shown earlier, I took pictures of the Bears fan in my section. And when I say in the stadium, the Bears fans absolutely outnumbered the Falcons fans. And you're going to have to show me that Falcon fans outnumbered them, because there were Bears fans everywhere. I would say 55-45, 60-40 with Bears. They had guys dressed up like Mike Ditka. They had groups with T-shirts, Bears fans united. There were like groups of folks in there. And I actually think there was a group next to us that was the family of a couple of Bears, because when a couple of people got hurt, their concerns seemed to be a little bit more than the average fan when one of the guys got hurt down there. So I don't know. But that being said, yeah, I loved it, because, again, when they went up 17-7 and Justin Fields ran into the end zone, they act like they had just won the Super Bowl. So I'm glad to stick it to him. Daniel says Bernhardt is on IR. I thought he was. Scooter says Clayton, I see Troy Anderson taking over that Mike linebacker. Troy Anderson is somebody that is super raw. And I hear the criticisms of Troy, and they're fair. But I'm gonna tell you something. You know what got my attention with Troy? As much as I seen Justin Fields of the last 2 weeks prior to our game run down the field untouched and whatever, there were 2 plays where Justin Fields tried to make that little curve, and Troy followed him from the right side all the way in and made the tackle on him, made him run out of bounds one time and made the straight tackle on him another time. I'm telling you, he's a guy, in another year or so, we're going to be saying, oh, yeah, that was a pretty sneaky pick. He's got some talent. Not Michael Parsons, but he's got some talent. And I think if you kind of let him play that game, possibly, with that speed and knowing how to manage that, he's going to be something else. And I truly believe that's going to be somebody that we're going to go back and say, oh, dang, we got him in the second round. Look out for that. Daniel says, I hope Graham's injury is nothing serious. Like I said, when I see Karts, that kind of makes me think he is. RJ says, Chase Young of the Commanders have been adamant, so they did activate him. O-line better be prepared just in case Chase plays this weekend. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, Chase better be good in the run game, because I think that's what they're going to do a lot of. Yeah, Lisa just said the same thing. Daniel says Pitt's officially placed on IR. No shock. Lisa, yeah, we have a late bye. We have 2 more games to the bye. Then after that, we have the Aints. Antonio, what's going on? Say, I want my rematch from last year's Washington game. Yeah, man. I was so ticked off in that game. Tyler Heineke was the luckiest cat in the world in that particular game. Super lucky. Clayton says, we talking about MM can throw to others, but remember, we run first. I could see Ed Smith tuck his head between his legs and call run for the whole game. He might. Slow down that rush. You got to slow down the rush if Chase is going to play. Chuck, what's going on? Say, I'm late to the party. Have we officially moved on from wanting to see the rookie quarterback? Because I'm still on that. And, it's so funny. When you win, that conversation gets pushed back, Chuck. It gets pushed back to the burner, as it should. Because if you're winning, nobody's paying that any attention. And actually, Mariota played a decent game yesterday. And I'm looking at his numbers. 13 for 20, 131, 1 touchdown. And he ran for 25 yards. The rushing was not as great yesterday, but I think decision-making was a lot better yesterday. And it didn't cost the game, obviously, if you win. Anthony, what's going on, man? So I was at the game yesterday surrounded by low Bear fans in my section, but after CP ran the kick back to the house, it was total silence. And it changed just like that. It was a very nice guy, him and his wife, that were behind us. And you know how sometimes with, you get the one visiting fan that that you can still be a fan, but y'all can communicate. And he was that guy yesterday. And he was living it up when they went up 10, as you should. You came all the way to, now what he said, they came from, what did he say? Indiana? They came from Indiana, and they were just big Chicago fans, and they wanted to come down to the game. And when you go that far and your team is up 10 and you see the stadium is pretty much in your favor, you got a lot of Bears fans there. It was a lot of high-fiving and stuff. Man, when CP went straight up the middle on them, you're right. You couldn't hear a pin drop. And after that, that gave the Falcons momentum because, again, the Bears didn't score again until the fourth quarter to tie the game, and they really shouldn't have scored that. Russell says, I'm a Michael Walker fan, but he ain't it. But what is it, though? I mean, is it a star or is it a solid player? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what we want. I mean, I'm not trying to sell him as this all-star, but, I mean, you're not going to get 3 all-pro linebackers on the same team unless you do that through free agency. So I don't know. I don't know what y'all want out of Michael Walker. Daniel says, I'm glad AJ Terrell is back. Going to need him against Terry McLaurin. And man, that don't sleep on him, man. That's one of the best receivers in the game. Michael Walker is still getting back to it after suffering a concussion earlier this year. And Walker is getting paid pocket change compared with other linebackers making a little bit over $1 million a year. Good point. Good point. Yeah, I'm not ready to throw Michael Walker out. Now, you got to let these guys grow. We are so ready, and it's kind of the Jalen Mayfield thing, but that's why I kind of, as trash as he's played, and that's just straight truth, it's something about totally giving up on him a season and a half in. And the sympathetic part for him is that they changed his position. He was a tackle coming out of the draft, and we converted him to a guard. And I know a lot of people say, well, there's plenty of tackles been converted to guard. Blah, blah, blah. Well, maybe he wasn't ready. And he must be on the roster still for a certain reason. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not ready to give up on Michael Walker that quick. Now, someone like Marlon Davidson, this is your 3rd year. You've been injury prone often. Really hasn't panned out. Yeah, I can understand that. But let's give Michael Walker a chance. Facebook user, I say, I love your talks and knowledge, brother. Keep sharing the love for the game. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I truly appreciate that. Thank you so much. I am not by any means an expert, but I'm an expert at being a fan. I think every fan, even if I don't agree, I think every fan has a specific voice. I think every fan is entitled to their opinion. Even if it doesn't make sense to 80 to 90% of the folks, you're entitled to your opinion. Your opinion is what you live on. And for me as a Falcon fan, I just enjoyed the varying thoughts of how we look at the Falcons. I'm one of those guys that I'll internalize how people feel. I love being at the game. If I get a chance to tailgate on occasion, I really don't as much because I'm involved in my ministry at church a lot. So in the mornings, I definitely give my time to the Lord during the morning, and then I gracefully move over to Mercedes-Benz or wherever it is for football. But I just love the interaction of fans. I just love it. I love the fact that I can go up to a stranger with a Falcons jacket, hat, t-shirt, and high five them knowing that we share that connection. Even though I don't know who they are from Sam. I love when talking to folks and looking at posts and stuff like that and just hear people truly be excited for their team. So, but thank you very much. That was very kind. Daniel says the Commanders' secondary is below average. The wide receivers should eat as long as we protect. Protection that's what we need. Um, Q says limited resources as long as we protect. That's true. Daniel says we exceeded expectations by winning 5 games so far. They only had us winning 4. And just backing that up, I am ready to and I'm not stalling. I'm trying to show you guys. I have won my bet, and I was trying to show y'all. Yeah, I'm bragging because I won a good little amount of money. Let's see. Here we go. I have won 2 different bets. If you see the one right there, Falcons regular season, 4.5 games. So not only will I get the 150 back, but I'll get 142. And I went to a different spot and did the same thing there. Regular season, 4.5 games. So as you all know, Falcons have won 5. So let me start my happy dance. Woo, woo. Oh. Woo, 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 woo. So good job. Oh man. Rusty said I was talking about tempering as far as the passing games. Because okay, all right, Rusty, I feel you, brother. You know I ain't throwing you out there. I'm not throwing you out to the wolves, Russ. You know I know where you stand, brother. Daniel says Graham's been placed on IR. 4 games, maybe at least it's not long term. That's cool. Q says Troy's speed is legit, and if we can harness that speed, Q, there's going to be some trouble. Daniel says Fields' legs was gone in the 4th quarter. I agree, and you know what? Maybe they played him correctly. So as much as Dean Pease, in our opinion, has deserved the ire that we've given him for why is he playing zone? Why is he doing this? Why is the field open? We slowed down one of the hottest quarterbacks in the NFL. Let me repeat. We slowed down, even though he did score a touchdown, even though he did, did his thing. You're right. But he only had 2 in my opinion, if you look at the game yesterday, Justin Fields had 2 good throws yesterday. One of them, the touchdown to Mooney, which the Falcon defender fell down, which I don't think he would have caught him anyway because he was already two yards behind him. And the wheel route to Montgomery, and I think that was the 4th quarter when they scored the tying touchdown. That wheel route was perfect. Other than that, Justin Fields had a rough day at the office yesterday. And you say rough day. He ran for, dare I say, was it 80-some yards? I mean, that was actually pretty good. So I don't want to dog that out too much. Of course, I just gave that up. Justin ran for 85 yards yesterday. And considering that he almost ran for 200 the week before, that just tells me whatever the game plan was, the Falcons stuck to it, and it helped to win the game. They made Fields a passer, and when they made him a passer, that was great. Facebook user, if we don't make the playoffs, I would like to see Ritter with this team and see what he can do with less help until next season, because we have a lot of money so we can grab legit players. And this, whoever said that, that's a great point. And I've looked at 2021 and 2022 as the audition for who's going to be here in 23 when we go get those key players. Because as opposed to going to shop at Dollar Tree, we might be going to shop at Neiman Marcus. For those of you young enough, go ask your mama and daddy. We might be shopping in the high district places. So as far as the guys here now, the evaluation is going on to see, including Ritter, to see who's going to be part of this squad. Because I think they're going to go all in. And I know people are going to crush me for thinking I'm in fantasy land, but I'm trying to tell y'all, don't be shocked if these Falcons go after Lamar Jackson. Even if Baltimore puts the tag on. Because if you put the tag on, that means it just might cost you a couple of draft picks too. That's a lot of money we got next year. And yes, we can absorb a $45 to $50 million salary and still have money to pay for folks for the next couple of years. Yes, we can. Oh, we're spending too much money on the quarterback position. His stats are not blah, blah, blah. And I hope Jimmy Wayne is on here so he can see, because I hate talking about people when they're not here. Jimmy, one of my buddies, and I love interacting with him online. But he had a post where he was showing Lamar Jackson numbers and Marcus Mariota numbers, and he was saying with a I'm assuming with a straight face, he was trying to compare the two. And I just laugh when I see stuff like that, because it just makes me giggle inside. Again, I respect folks' opinion, but I'm also like, okay, y'all, if you can't see the difference between what people bring to the game, as much as Josh Allen has been up and down the last couple of games, with his hurt elbow, I should add, if you can't see that this cat is different, Patrick Mahomes hasn't been perfect lately, but if you can't see the difference in that talent, so you mean to tell me, after comparing Lamar Jackson, if you're looking at stats only this year, not knowing that the man might be hurt, he was sick, he admitted he had some kind of flu stuff going on or whatever, you're going to sit here with a straight face to me and tell me Lamar Jackson is playing on the same level as Marcus Mariota, then I'm sorry. I'm probably, I don't know what to tell you. I don't. Crazy. Sean says he was complaining of leg fatigue before the game. That's good. That's good. Not good that he had leg fatigue, but... Tidy, what's going on, man? Tidy, and I don't know. I guess I'm hopefully not monopolizing the time. I know Tidy hasn't done his extremely popular player grade section, which I'm sure is coming on. Maybe I'm not speaking for you, so maybe put it in here so people can know. Once Troy figure out how to shed blocks and get off blocks, he will be unstoppable. He does at times struggle with getting off those blockers. His athleticism is out of this world. Sky's the limit for him. That's my thing. And I heard somebody talk about using him like a Micah Parsons type person. This is not trying to make him Micah Parsons, but because he's so fast and because he's green now, but once he truly kind of reads the game and soaks that in his rookie season, I think this is somebody that's going to be a problem in the next couple of years. I think so, at least. Daniel says, I hope Troy turns into our poor man's Luke Kuechly. I would love it if he does. I would love it. Q says, Parsons is better at edge than middle linebacker. We don't use Troy Anderson that way, but if we did, yeah. I hear you. RJ for Life says, we have made the following moves. Kyle Pitts to IR, Taquan Graham to IR, Jaleel Johnson claimed out the waiver wires, tight end John Rain signed to the practice squad, offensive lineman Justin Schaefer to practice squad IR. Wow, it's a lot. And maybe even more to come. Chuck said, I did enjoy your video of the Bears fans leaving early. Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. I always love those moments because we haven't had those moments. Over the last 2 years, that's us leaving, not the Bears fans leaving. So I love it. Yeah, I've had very few troll moments in the last couple of seasons at the Benz. So this year being our fourth win in 1 year, which I don't think we won four. I'm trying to see if that first season did we win four home games. I know we won. I know we won the Packers game at home. Maybe we won that Carolina. Yeah, we won the Carolina game at home. I can't remember. This is the most home wins we've had since the Benz opened in 2017. I do know that's a fact. Anthony said, man, shoot, I'm all in with this team. They've been pressed the heck out of me this season. Only negative I've had on it yesterday was so many quarterback option plays being called instead of using our three backs more. I was surprised that they did run more yesterday, Anthony. I really was. I kind of thought they did, and just looking here, we did have 149 yards rushing, 33 carries, 4.5 average, so that's not bad. But I don't know. I think at one point we were trying to maybe open up things, and that's fine because this fan base complains that we don't try to pass the ball, and yesterday Marcus had 20 attempts passing. So maybe we're trying to balance that out. 20 passes, 33 carries. I'm down with that. Maybe 133 yards because when you're averaging 6.6 yards a pass, it's a little small. I need that to be move up a little bit. Q says, I was impressed with Dalton, Horn, Abdullah getting that sack yesterday. They bend, but they didn't break. And Q, this has been the team. They are bend, but don't break. I mean, that's what they've been all year. That's what they've been. I mean, the Bears scored 3 touchdowns. Normally, the Falcons give up 2 in most of the games we had. They did score 3. But when they needed to, they got the stops, especially in the second half. In the second half, they played pretty good. And you can argue that last drive, that Montgomery wheel I mentioned earlier, that was just a very good Justin Fields play. Got to give him credit where credit is due. Rusty says, when I think of someone as being it, I think of them being a starting quality player. I think if Walker is a starting linebacker on your team, it's probably a weak position group. Fair point. It could also be a young position group too, Rusty. It could be. There was a time when we had AJ Terrell in the back there, and we were ready to, throw him out to the wolves that first year. Now he's looked at. Daniel says, peep the profile pic. Yeah. Wishful thinking. Q says, which app is that? And if you're talking about the one that's MGM Resorts. When I don't know if I think I did post live. I think when my wife and I went out there, when we had our Vegas trip this past summer, and I went out there when I went out there to that part. Toddy said that you also win the bet with your friend in a good word. Yes. Yes, I did. And I heard about it constantly yesterday. Oh, man. And actually, I took my buddy to the game yesterday, the Chicago guy. So it was, we're actually amending some stuff to that. So he's going to be mad if I talk about it too much. Yes, I did. Facebook user says, crazy part is we're supposed to suck, and MR2 going to the Colts was expected to be a playoff team. We have a better record team than them. Congrats on your bet. Calvin, what's up, Calvin? How you doing, brother? Yeah, man. I mean, listen, you're never gonna erase the MR2 era here, because as much as most of us want to pretend like that wasn't significant, it was a very significant amount of time with the Falcons. And for those who probably became Falcon fans because of his presence on the team, I know those are the ones probably having the hardest time, dealing with all of the, oh, he's gone, and all of that mess. But yeah, it is ironic to see him not get the win and us being a little bit better. But my goal is for this team to exceed his era. So whoever's next, let them be the man. Daniel says 12 yards rushing the whole second half yesterday for Fields. Again, I think I forgot who brought that up about his legs, but yeah, I just think he wasn't ready yesterday. Winston said Fields had 70 yards at half, only 15 yards left. Robert said that was an offensive pass interference that didn't get called on the first Bears touchdown. And Robert, maybe that explained, because all I saw on the big screen, I'm not even going to lie to you, I saw the touchdown, but I didn't see, all I saw was the Falcon guy falling down. So maybe that was, but you know how it is. Sometimes the refs see, sometimes they don't. There'll be some, Robert, that'll try to balance that out and say, well, Grady Jarrett should have got a roughing the passer or unnecessary roughness when he hit Justin after he slid. So I think the refs did an okay job yesterday, in my opinion, but that would not shock me if it was offensive pass interference. It would not. Chuck said, did you really take it back to 1986 doing the prep? I did, Chuck. I did. If I'd show you a lot more, but my knee is actually hurting. I'm supposed to have a cortisone shot here next week. So as soon as I get the cortisone shot, I got some more dance moves for y'all. Sequel says we need to identify our 4 biggest needs. This is true. LJ is just faster. I agree with Jimmy. And listen, I still have to disagree with you. I think that if you look at the body of work for Lamar, and who knows, I hope it's not a case where Lamar had a Cam Newton moment just early, where you had that monster season where you ran for all these yards, you happened to connect it and pass all these yards, but there's just something about an MVP doing some certain things. And I just like my chances better with Lamar. And I am not even trying to come close to question your expertise on football. But I just think my eye test just tells me Lamar is just a better player. I know what the stats say. I see them. I see exactly what the stats are saying. But you tell me who you want on your team. And the fact that Lamar is still 26. I know people think he might have peaked, but that he might not have peaked yet. I think his ceiling is a lot higher. I see Mariota, and I think I saw the ceiling already, and it was back in Tennessee. I am glad for what he's doing for my team now. He's taking a bunch of misfit toys from the Christmas Island and turning them into some guys who believe. And I love that. He's a leader on this team. But I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you, just like I told Jimmy, man, that's the eye test, man. Stevie, Ray Charles, Jose Feliciano, all of them can see that. It's not hard to see. I mean, but what do we have to go on other than stats and what you see on the field? Not a whole lot. And what I see on the field, I'll deal with some missteps by Lamar, knowing that he'll probably make it up on the next play, than to deal with inconsistencies from somebody that I know has been in the league for 5-6 years, 2 of those years on the back as a backup. I'll even put it one step further. You put LJ on this team at the beginning of the year, you tell me if you think they're going to be 5-6. Because I think even with the low talent on this team, I think they'd be 7-3. Why would that be 7-4? 7-4, 8-3 with the running game. I don't know, but yeah. Winston says Lamar and Mariota numbers are similar, but Lamar's in a whole different class. There's no comparison. Dude, I agree. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. And I think people's opinions are important. So I hear you, but I just disagree with you on that, brother Q. Scooter says Cinqua in mind, cornerback, edge, guard, safety. Guard is good too, Scooter. I think we might start. Man, I want to give Mulligan to McGarry. But if I have the opportunity to improve that position, whether it's via draft or free agency, I think that right tackle is going to be important. You're right about guard. Now, if Wilkerson can come back and be healthy, I would give Wilkerson another shot, because I think if you could say one thing, the running game was definitely in a good place with him in there. Cornerback is true. We I know we signed Hayward to 2 years, but you can probably never have enough quality corners in today's game. Edge rusher has got to be a must. Got to put pressure on folks. Got to. That's a good 4. Q says actually watching LJ the entire game. LJ does make the same mistakes when he tries to do too much, but he's the perfect cog to insert into this offense. There's not too many who can run this offense RPO. And I think that's what I'm looking at more, what he can do in this offense more than, listen, he might not be able to do the things in Kansas City that Andy Reid wants to do. But I think this style of offense that Arthur Smith wants, I started to look at who they were trying to get when he was trying to swing for the fences with Deshaun Watson. And though Watson, in my opinion, is a little bit better of a passer, I still think that type of quarterback, it would be a dream for here. Don't be shocked if we do. And I'm not trying to discredit Ritter. I hope they give Ritter a chance and maybe he shines. Because if Ritter shines, man, oh man, that would save a lot of money and we can really point that money in good. That's kind of what I'm hoping. I'm kind of hoping Ritter comes out the box and Ritter is that guy. We're not paying Ritter that much next couple of years and we can save that money. In a perfect world, that's what I hope for. But if we had the opportunity to get somebody, and I'm just thinking, I told people this when we were talking about the prospects of Justin Fields, what that would do for this area with this mentality of this franchise, the environment here. I think you would have a total different energy, the energy that we're kind of building upon now, and I think it would take it next level if you bring somebody like him in here. Said, bro, if you keep up with college, Cam Smith, Keely Ringo, Joey Porter on my radar. Yeah, Keely is definitely somebody. I haven't kept up as much with Cam Smith. I have seen Joey Porter. Facebook user, y'all, we not getting Lamar. He could be franchised. Even if he's franchised, does not mean you can't trade him, folks. That doesn't mean that. And the Ravens are going to demand, yeah, they would. So what? I mean, dude, these are the same people said we weren't going to get Deshaun Watson, and we were a step away until Cleveland snuck in. Let's say that. Never say never. Never say never. And if he doesn't get him, we don't. But never say never. Daniel said there's supposed to be a sale at Walmart. I heard, if y'all remember, and I absolutely 100% stole that from West Durham. West Durham, and it was the funniest thing. If y'all remember, I think that was Dan Quinn's first year, and we ran off the 5 straight. And we went to Dallas and played Dallas and defeated Dallas. That was the game that Devonta lost his mind and I think got 3 touchdowns. in that game. And the very last touchdown was a Julio Jones crossing pattern. And and I'm one of those guys that I turn on the radio and look at the TV. And West Durham said, as soon as Julio scored, he said, I don't know what's going on out in the parking lot, but it must be a sale at Walmart because everybody's headed for the stands. And I just thought that was just so funny to me. And I love West Durham. West Durham is one of the most underrated radio guys in the whole business. I know he does a lot of college football. He actually did he did a big game this weekend. I forgot which one it was, but I thought that was just hilarious. So I unabashedly stole that from one of my favorite radio guys, but it was true to look at. Q says, I want to see this defense with a 335-pound nose tackle. You sound like John Harris, so we do need that. Daniel says, didn't see a lot of Huntley yesterday. Yeah, I was a little shocked in that. But you know what? Algier is showing to be that guy, man. I was looking right quick. Box score. Huntley had 1 carry yesterday. And remember, with CP back, it goes down. I think Algier is clearly the number 2 guy right now. So Algier is going to get those carries. Algier got 8 carries, Patterson 10, Mario to 13. I mean, unfortunately, that's what it is, man. And listen, I think what they're going to do with Huntley, I think they're going to put a tag on Huntley. I think they're going to put a tag on him and see what he has. Let me run through these right quick because I didn't want to monopolize. I know, like I said, Tidy might be trying to do his thing today. John Harris says CP does not need to return another kick. CP does not need to play running back another down. He needs to be, he's going to play, bro. Senko say fumbles, lost folks, and a kick return limits your plays. Yeah, it does. Tidy says we won 5 games. The first season. Yeah, First season was 5, and I, if memory serves me correctly, I don't think we won more than 3 the year after that, right? So I know, 5. I forgot about. I was at the Packers, Cowboys, Bucks. I wasn't at the Saints game. That was the Thursday night game, and the Panthers game. The Panthers game was the one that actually got us in the playoffs. If we didn't win that game, we would have been no. We were in the playoffs, but had we lost, we would have had to go to New Orleans, and we won, so we ended up playing the Rams. That's what ended up happening with that. But yeah, 5 games. Thanks, Tyler. False Star was up. Said, was that dirty hit on Kyle Pitts? Like I said, I don't think so. Again, I know it's because of the damage that has. Obviously, we're going to sit here and justify, hey, he hit our guy. There are folks in Chicago, as I told you before, I think it's 6-7 need to score in Chicago. There are folks right now that are saying referees ought to be shamed because we were beating up Justin Fields. So weigh it out how you want to. Yeah. Let's see. Rusty says 4 biggest needs: right tackle, defensive line, linebacker, corner. This is assuming Ritter is number 1. If Ritter's not number 1, that's the biggest need. I agree with that. Try Daddy says, Steve, we need Lamar and Sean Payton. Sean Payton is waiting for Mike McCarthy to fall on his face. If Mike McCarthy does not go to the Super Bowl and win, he's going to get fired, and Sean Payton is going to Dallas. That's his dream job. If y'all remember, a couple of years ago, when they got rid of Jason Garrett, Dallas asked permission to talk to Sean Payton, who was under contract. But because Sean Payton was under contract, New Orleans did not allow that to happen because they were asking for a draft pick for compensation, and New Orleans did not I'm sorry, Dallas didn't want to follow through with that. Q said, I feel you up, but Baltimore Ravens have received the same criticism. If you're up 21 points on them and forcing the pass, it'll be an L for the Ravens. I hear you, but in contrast, I'll say you have a better chance of being up with Lamar Jackson on your team than you would Marcus Mariota. Is that kind of a fair turnaround to that? You have a better chance if everything is clicking, and it's not a perfect world, but if everything is clicking, you have a better chance. Say, yeah, McGarry fighting for a new contract. Lindstrom has made McGarry better. He did. Try says he did say he wants Lamar and he is available to coach him, and Terry back together brings us a championship. It will be close. Chuck says, I definitely agree that Action Jackson is the better quarterback. I question the efficiency of overall offensive scheme. Do we finally open up the passing game with him in place? That's a good point. Astro Bonds, what's going on, my friend? How you doing? Say Pitts hasn't really been a factor this season anyway. It's a fair point, but his presence alone, though, Fred, that he will draw attention that you're not going to get in these next two games. They will have two people looking in Kyle Pitt's direction at all times. With him not being there, defenses are definitely going to change some things up. Terry, what's going on? I agree. Appreciate you, brother. Chuck says if Ritter shines, we can get more playmakers on the defensive line. This is true. Daniel says spread the money around. Don't lock up most of the cap with offensive weapons like we did with Matt and Julio. Fair point. Defense wins championships. Not exactly true. Defense helps win championships. I have to agree with John. John always throws this out when he says that defense helps, but you got to keep scoring too. Defenses always help, but you got to score. And we had that Super Bowl a couple of years ago with the Rams and the Patriots. Both defenses played great, but somebody had to score. So you can. I hate that. That's the only thing. It's a factor, but it's not the biggest factor. Q says Wes Durham and Dave Archer's classic rating. I mean, dude, I can listen to them all day. I hate that they changed the thing. They used to be called NFL Game Pass. They changed it to NFL Plus. They used to have the radio replay, which I love to hear, like other teams when they lose more. But I also like to go back and listen to the reaction of Wes Durham. I was about to call him his dad, Hugh Durham, who used to call North Carolina games. But Wes Durham and Archer, Wes is the best. Gator says the same thing. Wes Durham is one of the best NFL announcers. There's a wall by right side here where if you remember that, see, that's probably okay. So maybe that's what it is then. But I promise you, if y'all ever get if they ever put those archives back up, that to me, I mean, I was in almost tears laughing when I heard that. So it was funny, man. Dan says John Harris got to stop folks when the game is on the line when you have the lead. This is true. Again, defense matters. It does matter. You can't have a one-dimensional team, but you do need a balance of both. Absolutely. You go back to the greatest show on turf. They were averaging high 30s on everybody going through the year, and in the Super Bowl, it came down to them playing defense. So defense is definitely a factor. Toddy said, you good? Take it down. It's all good, brother. I'm actually going to leave in a little bit anyway. Try Daddy says, oh, Steve, do you think we're going to put CP at tight end? I don't know about tight end, but putting him on the outside is definitely going to take some attention away from the defense. Put some of the eyes on CP when they see him in the formation. And you can afford to do that with Algier and Huntley running like they are. Let me see. 330 says Pruitt will fill in for KP, won't miss a beat. Senqua say, who made that last play in the Super Bowl, man. I know it was who. Dang, that's a good question. Who made the tackle? I'm not sure. Don't get me the line, man. Don't get me the line. Uh, Daniel said what? Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald. Oh, you talking about last year Super Bowl? Yeah, last year Super Bowl. No, and don't get me wrong. I hear you, but it's not entirely defense. I think people think the best defenses always win the Super Bowl. That's just entirely not true. Not entirely true at all. Daniels does say defense wins championships when you have a lead and not blow it by giving up the lead on defense side of the ball. Yeah, I just disagree. I think it's both. I think it's both. Lisa says CP made a good block yesterday. He is an all-around player. Tri City says, Try Daddy, I'm sorry. Think about what we could run our young horses and put CP in more of a receiver mode. That would be deadly. And I think that's something that you're going to see them do in that situation. Folks, it is 5:04. I probably overstayed my calling for about 30 minutes, but that's because you all were very interested. And I absolutely appreciate you all for joining me in this conversation. If y'all get a chance to check this out later on, share it with your friends. More importantly, go to Uncle Steve's Lounge on YouTube as well. Push the subscribe button. You get a chance to go back and check out all the content, what we've been putting on. Folks, I appreciate you all so much listening to us. We're trying to get to that road to 1,000 subs. Hopefully we do. Speaking of that, make sure you also subscribe to the Atlanta Bird Gang. For those of you on Facebook, you get a chance to listen to Tidy as he makes his videos and shorts, keeping us up on everything that's going on inside Atlanta Bird Gang. Make sure you go to Atlanta Bird Gang on YouTube and push the subscribe button too, in addition to Uncle Steve's Lounge. Until then, folks, I appreciate y'all joining me for the aftermath. It has been fun. We will catch you all later on in the week. If I don't holler at you before the Thanksgiving holiday, everyone have a great holiday. If you're traveling, please be safe. There's a lot of folks out there, and unfortunately, the statistics we hear every year. And I think this is probably the first kind of non-COVID holiday Thanksgiving we've had in a while. So y'all just be safe out there so we can come on back and talk about this Falcons game against the Washington Commanders coming up. Until then, y'all take care. Have a great day. Enjoy yourself. And this your Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Y'all be good. Peace.